Hi everyone, and welcome to another episode of Radiant Central, and I'm your host, Natasha St. Michael, and thank you so much for joining me. So today I want to share one of my favorite recipes. This is a quinoa lentil salad. It is just full of goodness, full of just super yummy goodness. It's one of my favorite recipes. And this recipe is actually part of the new 7-Day Whole Food Challenge. As I mentioned before, last month I launched the new 7-Day Whole Food Challenge, and this is a program that I'll be hosting every single month. And it's a week of doing a whole food diet pretty much. So a week of no sugar, no fast food, no junk food, no fried food, no white flour, no processed food, no soda, no artificial ingredients, no artificial flavors or sweeteners, none of that. It's 1 week of eating 100% healthy whole food diet. And this is super exciting for anyone that wants to get off of the junk food and the fast food and the processed food. Join us. And the next 7-Day Whole Food Challenge, it starts this coming Monday, October 20th. And so I thought I'd share one of the recipes that's part of the program. There's over 75 recipes that is in the ebook that comes with the program. And this is just one of them. And this is one of my favorites. And this is actually a recipe that it's a large salad, and it's meant to actually make in a large quantity so you can keep it in your fridge and eat it over the course of a few days. I would say it's good in the fridge for about at least 5 to 7 days. And it's something that actually gets better and better as the days go by, because the lentils and the quinoa, they marinate in the salad dressing, and there's a bunch of vegetables in it, and it's just a juicy, wonderful salad, and something that's very filling, full of protein, and just full of goodness. So let's get started on making the salad. And if you want to join us for the 7-Day Whole Food Challenge, go to my website at radiantcentral.com, click on products, and you'll see 7-Day Whole Food Challenge there. And the next one starts this coming Monday, October 20th. All right, so let's get started on making the salad. So I'm going to take you through all the ingredients first, and then we're going to go step by step through preparing the salad. The first thing you're going to need is dried quinoa and dried lentils. You can use any type of quinoa, white quinoa, black quinoa, red quinoa, whatever you want to use. And we'll be using a half a cup of dried quinoa, and then we're going to be using 3/4 of a cup of dried lentils, and these are brown lentils. So this is what you're going to need for basically the grains in the salad. And then vegetable-wise for the salad, you're going to need half of a red bell pepper, half of a green bell pepper, or if you have another colored bell pepper like orange or yellow, that's fine to use. You're going to need 1 large carrot, 1 stalk of celery, I would say a half a cucumber or a whole cucumber. You'll need 1/4 of an onion, either a red onion or a yellow onion, whatever you have, and 1 tomato. Some fresh parsley. We're going to be chopping this up into about 2 tablespoons of fresh parsley. And then for the dressing, we're going to need 1 lemon. We're going to use the juice of the lemon. We're going to need 1/4 cup of olive oil, 2 tablespoons of red wine vinegar, and I would say about 1/4 to a half a teaspoon of salt, and 1 clove of garlic, which we're going to mince. I'm going to put all the ingredients and also all the directions to making the salad on my blog at radiantcentral.com/blog. So everything's listed out. So you can pretty much just watch, take it all in, and then go to my website and get the full recipe and directions and measurements and all of that. Okay, so first what we're going to do is we're going to start off with the quinoa and the lentils, and we're going to cook them up. Basically, we're just going to boil them very quickly and then put them aside and then put all the ingredients together. So here's the lentils and the quinoa, and pretty much you want to cook them separately because we're going to be cooking them for different lengths of time. The lentils you're going to be cooking for 20 to 25 minutes, and the quinoa for 10 to 15 minutes. The preparation for both is the same, but you just want to cook them in separate saucepans because one cooks longer than the other. Both of them need to be rinsed, so I suggest using a fine mesh strainer, and you're going to rinse them through with water, and then we're going to boil them and cook them. So here's my lentils, and I just rinsed them thoroughly in water very, very quickly, just under water for about a minute, and then I'm going to put it in a pot with water. And the water is covering the lentils. I would say there's a good inch or 2 of water that's covering the lentils, and then we're going to put this on the stove. We're going to bring it to a boil, and then once it's at a boil, you're just going to let it simmer for 20 to 25 minutes, uncovered. Here's the lentils after they've been strained. They've been simmering for 20 to 25 minutes, and pretty much you want to simmer them at a very low temperature that they're not boiling. and they're not getting mushy and they're not falling apart or splitting apart or any of that. You want that they're cooked through, but they're still a little bit firm. So you're pretty much aiming for al dente lentils, where they're firm, but they're cooked. And as soon as they're cooked through, you want to just make sure to strain them immediately and let them set aside, and make sure that all water is getting strained from them. And you want them to cool down at room temperature. Here's the quinoa, and like the lentils, I rinsed it very quickly through some water, some running water. And now I'm going to put it in a pot that has a good inch of water. And once I put it in the pot, I'm going to put it on the stove, and I'm going to bring it to a boil. And I'm going to be cooking the quinoa for only 10 to 15 minutes. So you pretty much just want to put this pot on the stove, bring it to a boil, and then lower the heat down to low. And you're going to cook it for 10 to 15 minutes until the quinoa becomes translucent and cooked. And here's the quinoa. So pretty much we did the same thing as we did with the lentils. We put it in the pot, we brought it to a boil, and then we lowered the heat down to low and left it uncovered to simmer for a good 10 to 15 minutes. And pretty much how you know that the quinoa is cooked is that it gets the characteristic little white tails. You can see that, plus it also becomes slightly translucent. Now what we want to do after it's been cooked is to strain it. You really want to make sure that any water has been strained out of it, and then we'll set it aside to also cool down. In the meantime, what we're going to do is we're going to prepare the vegetables and dice everything up, and also get the salad dressing together as well. For the salad, we're going to be dicing all the vegetables. And so before we get started in dicing everything, first we got to prepare some of the vegetables. So here's the cucumber. We've taken out the inner seeds, and we're using half of a cucumber. And then we've got a green bell pepper and a red bell pepper. We've also removed the seeds and the inner pith as well. And then here's half a tomato. We've removed the seeds from that as well. And here is a quarter of an onion, and we've removed the outer skin. So now we're going to just dice everything up. So as we're going to dice up our ingredients, I have a bowl over here that we're going to just toss everything in as we dice it. And as you can see, they're diced into very small little pieces. And finally, we're going to thinly slice up some fresh parsley. I would say about the quantity of maybe about 2 tablespoons, 2 to 3 tablespoons worth. And so you're going to just finely chop it up. So here's all the diced up vegetables. Now this took me, I would say, about 5 minutes to prepare. I mean, super quick. And as you can see also, everything is diced up into fine little pieces. And you can do this while you're cooking the quinoa and the lentils. So pretty much when you get the salad together, it is very quick to make. We're now going to put this to the side, and we're going to work on the dressing. Okay, so here's the ingredients for the salad dressing. We need to prepare that now. So pretty much what you're going to need is a quarter of a cup of olive oil. You're going to need 2 tablespoons of red wine vinegar, 1 clove of garlic, and you're going to have to mince the garlic, and you're going to need 1 lemon, and we're going to juice the lemon, and I would say about 1/4 to 1/2 teaspoon of salt, depending how salty you like it. Alright, so first let's get started with juicing the lemon. So now we're going to combine all the ingredients for the salad dressing. So here's the lemon juice that we just juiced, here's the olive oil, red wine vinegar, 1 clove of garlic minced, and the salt. Pretty simple. And then you're just going to stir it up thoroughly to ensure that everything is mixed well together. And now we're going to mix everything together. So we'll start with putting the vegetables in. Quinoa, the lentils. And this makes a huge batch, as you can see. And then we're going to put in the sauce. You can just pour it in because we're going to thoroughly mix everything up. So you pretty much want to mix this thoroughly to ensure that the salad dressing really mixes in with the lentils and quinoa. The one thing that I actually suggest is that after you've mixed it thoroughly, I actually suggest putting it in the refrigerator and letting it cool down so that it's actually cold when you serve it. It's much tastier. And I also find that the longer this sits in the salad dressing, the tastier it becomes. So it's one of those things that if you have it right away, it tastes good, but it tastes even better when it's really cold and when it's been marinating for a while. So even if it's marinating for a few hours or even a few days. Personally, I like to make big batches like this and keep it in my refrigerator so that I can eat it over the course of a few days. And every day it actually gets better and better and better. And here is our delicious salad. Look at that. I mean, talk about goodness. This is just pure goodness. And I have to say, do chill it. Put it in the refrigerator for at least an hour or two, if not longer, before you serve it, before you eat it. Because when it's cold, it tastes even better. And I have to say, I promise you, this salad actually tastes better and better every single day because it just marinates. The juices in it, the salad dressing just marinates with the lentils and the quinoa and all the vegetables. This is super yummy. And one thing I love about this salad is that it's something you can keep in your fridge. You can make a huge amount, and it's great as a snack, it's great as a meal, and it's great to bring with you to work. Like a lot of times people need ideas for lunches. What can they bring to work or school? I would say bring this with you. And so do make it. And if you want to join us for the next 7-day Whole Food Challenge, especially for those that need some ideas, let's say you are already eating a healthy diet, but you're just kind of getting bored with your food, then join us. It's not only for people that are trying to get off of soda and the sugar and all that, but it's also for people that want to just do 7 days of just 100% healthy food, learn new recipes, and just get excited again. You know, that's what it's about. It's about doing a group program online, doing new things, trying new things, and getting excited. Because when you're excited about your food, life it's even better. So if you want more information about the 7-Day Whole Food Challenge, go to my website at radiantcentral.com, click on products, and there's more information there under the 7-Day Whole Food Challenge. And if you want the recipe for this, go to my blog post, today's blog post at radiantcentral.com/blog, and the full recipe will be written out as well. All right, so do try this out and have a super fabulous day, everyone, and I'll see you again soon. Bye.